Herman Daruski's band played operetta with a wobbly soprano warbling. Just why I made my mind up that I'd got to get her with the fire hose I can't say, but I'll try. It wasn't just the singing angered me. At the same time, half a crowd was jeering as the smooth Hugh Gateskill, RMP, made promises the other half were cheering. What I hated in those high soprano ranges was uplift beyond all reason and control, and in a world where you say nothing changes, it seemed a sort of prick tease of the soul. I tell you, when I heard high notes that rose above Hugh Gateskill's cool electioneering, straight from the warbling throat right up my nose, I had all your aggro in my jeering. And I hit the fire extinguisher on knob and covered orchestra and audience with spray. I could run as fast as you then. A good job. They yelled, "Damn vandal," after me that day. And then you saw the light and gave up heavy, and you a man's not how much you can sup. Your reward for growing up's this super bevy, a meths and champagne punch in FA Cup. I've heard all that from old farts past their prime, how now you live with all you once detested. Old farts with not much left'll give me time. Fuckers like that get folk like me arrested. Covet not thy neighbour's wife, thy neighbour's riches. Vicar and cop who say to save our souls, "Get thee behind me, Satan, drop their breeches and get the devil's dick right up their holes." It was more a working marriage that I'd meant, a blend of masculine and feminine. Ignoring me, he started looking, bent on some more aerosoling for his tin. It was more a working marriage that I mean. "Fuck can save me soul, eh? That suits me." Then, as if I'd egged him on to be obscene, he added a middle slit to one daubed V. "Don't talk to me of fucking representing the class you were born into anymore. You're going to get hurt and start resenting it's not poetry we need in this class war. You've given yourself toffee, cunt. Who needs your fucking puffy words? I write me own. I've got me work on show all over Leeds, like this United here, on some sod stone." OK. Thinking I had him trapped. OK, if you're so proud of it, then sign your name when next you're full of harp and armed with spray, next time you take this shortcut from the game. He took the can, contemptuous, unhurried, and cleared the nozzle and prepared to sign the United spread, where Mam and Dad were buried. He aerosoled his name, and it was mine. The boy footballer's ball, here comes the bride, and drifting blossoms fall onto my head. One half of me's alive, but one half died when the skin half sprayed my name among the dead. Half versus half, the enemies within the heart that can't be whole till they unite. As I stoop to grab the crushed harp lager tin, the day's already dusk, half dark, half light. That united that I'd wished unto the nation, or as a reunion for dead parents, soon recedes. The words once more a mindless desecration by some harpaholic yob supporting leads. Almost the time for ghosts. I'd better scram. They're not given much to fears of spooky scaring. I don't fancy an encounter with me mam playing Hamlet with me for this swearing. Though I have a train to catch, my step is slow. I walk on the grass and graves with wary tread over these subsidences, these shifts below the life of Leeds supported by the dead. Further underneath's that cavernous hollow that makes the gravestones lean towards the town, a matter of mere time, and it will swallow this place of rest and all the resters down. I tell myself I've got, say, 30 years. At 75, this place will suit me fine. I've never feared the grave, but what I fear is that great worked-out black hollow under mine. Not train departure time, and not town hall with the great white clock face I can see. Coal that began with no man here at all, as 300 million year old plant debris. 5 kids still play at making blossoms fall, and humming as they do, "Here comes the bride." They never seem to tire of their ball, though I hear a woman's voice call one inside. 2 larking boys play bawdy, bride and groom. 3 boys in lead strip, la-la, Lohengrin. I hear them as I go through growing gloom, still years away from being scald or skin. The ground's carpeted with petals as I throw the aerosol, the harp can, the cleared weeds on top of Dad's dead daffodils, then go, with not one glance behind, away from Leeds. The bus to the station, still the number 1, but goes by routes that I don't recognise. I look out for known landmarks as the sun reddens the swabs of cloud in darkening skies. Home, home, home to my woman, as the red darkens from a fresh blood to a dried. Home, home to my woman, home to bed, where opposites seem sometimes unified. A pensioner in turban taps his stick along the pavement past the corner shop that sells samosas now, not beer on tick, to the Kashmir Muslim club that was the Co-op. House after house for sale where we'd played cricket, with white roses cut from flour sacks on our caps, with stumps chalked on the coal grate for our wicket, and every one bought now by coloured chaps, Dad's most liberal label, as he felt squeezed by the unfamiliar and fear of foreign food and faces when he smelt curry in the shop where he'd bought beer. And growing frailer, wobbly on his pins, the shops he felt familiar with withdrew, which meant much longer, tiring treks for tins that had a label on them that he knew. And as the shops that stocked his favourites receded, whereas he'd fancied beans and pop next door, he found that 4 long treks a week were needed, till he wondered what he bothered eating for. The supermarket made him feel embarrassed. Where people bought whole lambs for family freezers, he bought baked beans from checkout girls, too harassed to smile or swap a joke with sad old geezers. But when he bought his cigs, he'd have a chat, his week's one conversation, truth to tell. But time also came and put a stop to that, when old Watsy got bought out by M. Patel. And there, time like an ever-rolling stream's what I once trilled behind that boarded front. 1,000 ages made coal-bearing seams, and even more the hand that sprayed this cunt on both Methodist and C of E billboards, once divided in their fight for local souls. Whichever house more truly was the Lord's, both's pews are filled with cut-price toilet rolls. Home, home to my woman, never to return till sexton or survivor has to cram the bits of clinker scooped out of my urn down through the rose roots to my dad and mam. Home, home to my woman, where the fire's lit, these still chilly mid-May evenings. Home to you, and perish vegetation from the pit, escaping insubstantial up the flue. Listening to Lulu, in our hearth we burn as we hear the high seas rise in stereo, what was lush swamp club moss and tree fern at least 300 million years ago. Shill-bottle cobbles, Albanberg High D, lifted from a source that bears your name, the one we hear decay, the one we see, the fern from the fetid forest as brief flame. This world with far too many people in starts on the TV logo as a tour, then ping-pong, tennis, football, then one spin to show us all, then shots of the Gulf War. And as the coal with reddish dust cools in the grate, on the late-night national news we see police versus pickets at a coke plant gate, old violence and old disunity. The map that's colour-coded Ulster eras flashed on again as almost every night. Behind a tiny coffin with two bearers, men in masks with arms show off their might. The day's last images recede, to first a glow, and then a ball that shrinks back to blank screen. Turning to love and sleep's oblivion, I know what the united that the skin sprayed has to mean. Hanging my clothes up from my parka hood, may and apple petals, browned and creased, fall onto the carpet and bring back the flood of feelings their first falling had released. I hear like ghosts from all Leeds matches, humming with one concerted voice, the bride I feel united to, my bride is coming into the bedroom, naked to my side. The ones we choose to love become our anchor, when the hawser of the blood ties hacked or frays. But a voice that scorns chorales is yelling, "Wanker!" It's the aerosoling skin I'm at today's. My alter ego wouldn't want to know it. His aerosol vocab would balk at love. The skin's united underwrites the poet. The measures carved below the ones above. I doubt if 30 years of bleak Leeds weather and 30 falls of apple and of May will erode the united binding us together. And now it's your decision. Does it stay? Next millennium you'll have to search quite hard to find out where I'm buried, but I'm near the grave of Haberdasher Appleyard, the pile of harps or some new neoned beer. Find Byron, Wordsworth, or turn left between one grave marked Broadbent, one marked Richardson. Bring some solution with you that can clean whatever new crude words have been sprayed on. If love of art, or love, gives you a front that the grave I'm in's graffitied, then maybe erase the more offensive fuck and cunt, but leave with the worn united one small V. Victory for vast, slow, coal-creating forces that hew the body's seams to get the soul. Will Earth run out of her diurnal courses before repeating her creation of black coal? But choose a day like I chose in mid-May, or earlier when apple and hawthorn tree, no matter if boys boot their ball all day, cling to their blossoms and won't shake them free. If, having come this far, somebody reads these verses and he, she wants to understand, face this grave on Beeson Hill, your back to Leeds, and read the chiselled epitaph I've planned. Beneath your feet's a poet, then a pit. Poetry supporter, if you're here to find how poems can grow from, beat you to it, shit. Find the beef, the beer, the bread, then look behind.
V was read by Tony Harrison. The director was Graham Frost.